Now, you know I don't usually do videos on Saturdays because I'm usually either out of town or just, living my life. But although I want to say this year, 2019, has probably been the most video podcast I've ever done on a Saturday. Um, yeah, so here I am on a Saturday doing a video. And the reason why is because I got asked a straightforward question by one of my followers that I felt was worthy of being addressed publicly. And the question was, a guy said, Alan, I've been listening to your videos for a while. And, as a lot of guys do, they'll first say something complimentary. He said, I like a lot of your content. I love your books. But he said, sometimes I feel like you send out mixed messages. Mixed messages. So I want to address that. Before I do, I'm going to quickly touch on something. Now, of course, yesterday's video got some interesting reactions, which I knew was going to happen. But one reaction that I didn't necessarily anticipate was a reaction from a podcast. I'm not going to say his name, but everybody knows who I'm talking about, whose name was not mentioned at all in the video, but yet he decided to do a live stream roasting yours truly. Roasting yours truly. And I got all these emails and inbox messages, literally probably like 25. Hey, Alan, man, so-and-so is on this channel right now roasting you. My thing is this is all I'm going to say, man. I'm going to say two things about it. I'm going to leave the issue alone. Number one, man, I find it interesting that someone would take time to roast me when that same person is the person who begged me to come on YouTube. 90% of the reason I'm on YouTube is because of the podcaster who roasted me. I mean, this motherfucker persistently bugged me to get on YouTube. That's like me being like a basketball coach or a football coach, and I persistently recruit someone to play for my team. But then, because we had a difference in opinion on some kind of disagreement that caused us to fall out, now I'm dogging out this basketball player, football player, because I don't get any attention from him anymore. Now I'm dogging him out. Even though I was the one who recruited him to play for my basketball team and football team. 90% of the reason I'm on YouTube. Because see, in 2000, after I ended my Blog Talk radio show in mid-June of 2016, I wasn't planning on doing any more podcasting. I really wasn't. I was just going to resign myself to being a book author and a dating coach and just do my Skype and telephone consultations, my email consultations, and my one-on-one face-to-face coaching sessions. That's all I was planning on doing. I wasn't planning on doing no more podcasting. But then in roughly, early to mid-December of 2016, this same podcaster who roasted me invited me to write for his website, which I did. I ended up being the top writer on his website. I got the plaques on my wall to prove it. I drew more readers and viewership than any writer on that website. I had more non-black people reading that website than anybody. I had more women reading that website than anybody on there. I even got an Editor's Choice Award from this podcaster because my viewership was higher than any other writer on the website. Facts. Hashtag facts. And along with inviting me to write for his website, this same podcaster begged me, and I'm emphasizing that word, begged me to come on YouTube. He was the number one person who recruited me to come on YouTube. And now he gonna turn around and roast me. You know, and that leads me to my second point. Then I'll move on to what I really want to talk about. See, you know what that's called? I've talked about this once or twice in a video before. That's what's called the jilted lover syndrome. The jilted lover syndrome. See, what is the jilted lover syndrome? Anytime, let's say you got a friend named Brian, and you and Brian are real cool. And while you and Brian are cool, you ain't got nothing negative to say about him. He ain't got nothing negative to say about you. No criticisms whatsoever. But the minute you and Brian say have some kind of snag in y'all friendship, some kind of disagreement, basically causes y'all to fall out either temporarily or permanently, all of a sudden you go from exclusively complimenting this person to pretty much exclusively criticizing and insulting this person. That's known as the jilted lover syndrome. The jilted lover syndrome. I see a lot of people do that, both in real life and here on YouTube. They have nothing but good things to say about that person when they're cool, but then they have nothing but negative things to say about that person when they feel like they're being ignored or they had a falling out with that person. I've experienced that with at minimum 2 podcasters, if not 3. Where when me and that person were cool, they didn't have nothing critical to say about me. Nothing critical or negative to say about me. But then after we fell out, over 50% of the things they had to say about me was something critical or negative. My question is simply this: how come them criticisms didn't come when we was cool? Because see, that's the thing that's different about me, Alan Roger Currie. I'm going to criticize you when I'm cool with you. If you have a glaring attribute that I don't like, I'm going to tell you while we're cool. I don't like that shit. Like, I got close friends and fraternity brothers. I can give you a couple examples. I got a fraternity brother who always cheats on his wife. And me and him are cool like this. But I tell him as I speak right now, I say, dude, why you always cheating on your wife, man? That's some weak, cowardly shit, man. See, I admonish him while we're cool. That's how I roll, man. On the flip side, if you have an attribute that I think is admirable, I'm going to maintain my compliment of that attribute even if we fall out. For example, if when we were cool, I told you I think you're very intelligent, even if we fall out, I'm going to tell people I think that person's intelligent. I'm not going to turn around and say, that person's a dumbass. He's stupid. If I think you funny while we cool, I ain't going to turn around after we fall out and say, that person ain't got no sense of humor. He ain't funny. He corny as hell. If I think you're a hard worker while we cool, after we fall out, I ain't going to turn around and say, man, that person's a lazy ass. But again, I've had at least 2 and as many as 3 people do that to me on YouTube. When we was cool, they had nothing but they sung my praises to the highest degree. Didn't have nothing negative to say about me. Now all of a sudden, I'm that light-skinned pretty boy nigga who ain't shit. I'm that light-skinned pretty boy nigga who ain't shit. Really? Now my intelligence is questioned. My work ethic is questioned. I'm all of a sudden now this fucked up individual. Well, if I'm a fucked up individual, why y'all motherfuckers was promoting my books if I'm so fucked up? Why was y'all having me write for y'all websites if I'm so fucked up? Why did you want my presence on YouTube if I'm so fucked up? Why was you trying to be friends with me if I'm so fucked up? Those are the $1 million questions. Those are the $1 million questions. I ain't got time for that high school jilted lover shit. Drops mic. Now somebody said, Alan Roger Currie, you sending out mixed messages. And he went on to explain what he felt by that. He said, Alan, sometimes by just the nature of you being a book author and dating coach, I definitely get the impression you genuinely want to help your single heterosexual male clients. I get the impression just by virtue of you being a dating coach and a book author that you genuinely want to help your single heterosexual male clients, which is true. I do. But he said, in the last few weeks, though, you've done a lot of videos kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, attacking men, specifically attacking men who have some frustrations with women's behavior in today's dating scene. You almost seem to be demonizing men who express certain frustrations with women in today's dating scene. So I almost feel like that's somewhat contradictory. I mean, I would think you would be looking to help men who are having their share of disappointments, problems, and frustrations with women, as opposed to blasting them and treating them like they're nothing more than whiners and complainers. So, Alan, can you explain to me that contradiction? If you agree with me that it is somewhat of a contradiction? Like, sometimes I feel like you empathize with the challenges and frustrations of many single heterosexual men out here in society trying to have more successful women. But sometimes I feel like you're just the opposite, that you totally lack empathy towards men who are out here having their share of challenges, problems, disappointments, and frustrations with women. Can you please clarify that in a future video? Here's the two general groups that I would divide guys into. Guys who are more or less disgruntled with women. Disgruntled with women. Here's the two general groups I would put these guys into. Category number one would be guys whose main challenge and or frustration is being confused by women's inconsistent behavior, contradictory behavior, hypocritical behavior, dishonest behavior, and misleading and manipulative behavior. Guys who most of their challenges and frustrations are related to, are based around confusion and frustration that stems from women exhibiting behavior that's inconsistent, contradictory, hypocritical, dishonest/disingenuous, and just misleading and manipulative. I'll put that category number one. Though guys who fall in category number one are the guys who I'm always looking to help. Those are the guys who I'm always looking to help. Because, matter of fact, speaking of the concept of mixed messages, that's what a lot of women send out. There are a lot of women in society in today's dating scene that send out mixed messages. And I think by now you should know the simple reason why. I can get into a lengthy detail way, which is what my books are for, if you want the lengthy detail version. But in a nutshell, here's the simple, very simplistic reason why women send out mixed messages. And in fairness to them, men do the same thing with a lot of women. See, this is why I always divide the appeal of your companionship into two categories. The appeal of your sexual attention and companionship, and the appeal of your non-sexual attention and companionship. See, if you meet a woman who finds both your sexual attention and companionship appealing, and she finds your non-sexual attention and companionship appealing, the 99% chance she's not going to send you any mixed messages. She's not. She's going to be a reciprocator. She's going to be a reciprocator. What I refer to as a reciprocator. On the flip side, if you meet a woman that finds your sexual attention and companionship unappealing, and equally she finds your non-sexual attention and companionship unappealing, then she's simply going to be a rejecter. She's not going to send you mixed messages or play games with you. She's just going to be a rejecter. She ain't going to be interested in sharing your company at all. See, the number one time women are going to send you mixed messages and generally engage in some degree of manipulative head games is when a woman finds your sexual attention and companionship appealing, but she has question marks about your non-sexual companionship. Or she's worse, she just flat out doesn't care for your non-sexual companionship. Or on the flip side, she finds your non-sexual attention and companionship highly appealing, but she at best is lukewarm towards your sexual companionship. In the worst case scenario, she has no interest in sharing your company in any type of sexually intimate manner. See, a lot of things that are appealing to women sexually are unappealing to women non-sexually and vice versa. And I've pointed that out multiple times before. And that's why women tend to come across as confusing to men. There's a lot of attributes that women will find appealing. If I had to give one or two examples, cockiness and dominance. Cockiness and dominance. When a woman is looking for a casual fuck buddy, she loves a man who's cocky and dominant. She loves men like that. If her interest is just strictly to have you as a fuck buddy, she wants you to be cocky and dominant. But if a woman plans on spending a significant amount of time with you non-sexually, she's going to despise the fact that you're cocky and dominant. She's going to despise the fact that you're cocky and dominant and generally hard to get along with. The more time women want to spend with you non-sexually, the more they want you to be easy to get along with. The more women want to spend time with you non-sexually, the more they want you to be easy to get along with and likable, which is what I'm going to cover in my Patreon exclusive portion today. Brief, if only briefly. But when a woman just has you in the casual fuck buddy category, they don't really care if you're an asshole or a jerk. They don't really care if you have a personality that's hard to get along with. All they want is some enjoyable and satisfying dick. So anyway, I'm always seeking to help men who are left confused by women's inconsistent behavior, contradictory behavior, hypocritical behavior, dishonest/disingenuous behavior, and misleading and manipulative behavior. Or secondly, along with that, men who are currently in a relationship or recently got out of a relationship or marriage and they felt like that woman misrepresented herself. For example, that woman gave them the impression that she was non-materialistic and anything but shallow and superficial. But as the relationship went on, she proved herself to be very shallow and superficial and very materialistic. That would be an example of a woman misrepresenting herself. Woman who entered a relationship or entered a marriage giving a man the impression she was the most strictly monogamy-oriented good girl on earth, only to repeatedly cheat on that man and be unfaithful to him. That woman misrepresented herself. I seek to help men understand why that happened and how they contributed to allowing that to happen. So those are the men in that category that I have total empathy for and I always seek to help. That's category number one. Category number two of guys who are having frustrations with women is guys who are simply frustrated because they are not pulling the quantity and or quality of women that they really want to be pulling. Plain and simple. Guys who are frustrated that they are not being chosen. They're frustrated because the women that they were really attracted to were not attracted to them, i.e., they've been repeatedly rejected. Or they just simply gotten ignored by the women who they had an attraction to. I'm going to bring up his name again like I always do. Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger would be somebody who fell into the second category. He was frustrated that he was not able to pull a certain caliber of women. It wasn't like he couldn't pull any women at all. I mean, if you look at Elliot Rodger, I would even say Elliot Rodger wasn't no like grossly unattractive motherfucker. He was a decent looking guy. But he wasn't able to pull the caliber of women that he wanted to pull. He felt entirely entitled to pull women that were of a certain caliber or in a certain league. And I don't really like to use that word league, but it's appropriate here. There are a lot of guys out here, in blunt terms, they want to pull women that are significantly out of their league. And when they can't, they get extremely frustrated and even just flat out angry and bitter. Those guys in that category, I don't have no empathy for those guys. Because I've always said, you're not entitled to have any woman's romantic or strictly sexual companionship. No woman. It's okay for you to desire the companionship of a woman, even a woman out of your league. I don't have any criticism of that. Matter of fact, I think if you really are attracted to a woman, quote unquote, out of your league, you should pursue her. So I'm not telling guys they shouldn't pursue women out of their league. I'm not saying that. So before somebody tries to misquote me, what I'm saying is that if you do pursue a woman out of your league and she rejects you, you can't feel like it's legitimate for you to feel angry and bitter about it. You don't have a right to feel bitter about it. You want her companionship. She doesn't want your companionship. You got to deal with that. Period. You don't need to get on YouTube whining and complaining about that shit. So that's the category of men I don't have any empathy for. And in my Patreon exclusive portion, I'm going to be talking about why you need to overcome your addiction to being the likable guy. The likable guy. In my Patreon exclusive portion.